got to have a concept. You have a great concept. You guys are doing it, man. And it's an honor for me to just be, you know, a small rock, man, in your mountain. I'm going to pop a top in your honor. Mr. Doc Walker blessed us with his presence and knowledge.
We want to welcome in our next special guest, Haley Skarupa. She's a three-time world champion in women's ice hockey and most recently won Olympic gold with Team USA.
The Cap Stadium Series is definitely my favorite, obviously. I'm a huge Caps fan, I always have been, and to be there at that game with my teammates and for us to bring, you know, our gold medals to there and share it with everyone in this area was really, really special for me, and just the support and it's been tremendous from everyone in this area, and you can feel that there at that game.
Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast. Hashtag DC Sports Without the Politics with Carol and Robbie on True Radio Network.
And welcome to episode 413 of Sports on the Hill podcast. Sorry, we're having a little snack. Champ was just talking about him getting some food before him. I have this really cool little box here. It's like a thing that you can get from Sam's Club. You know, it's like pita and hummus and stuff like that, and a snack tray and stuff like that.
Well, ain't you a fancy some bitch, ain't you?
Exactly. Well, it was the fastest thing I could make in the fridge. So that was the key. Because I fed the kids, I did all that, got them to bed, but I completely forgot about feeding myself, and I was like, oh crap. It's like, now we're going live. So anyway, but welcome on in. We've got a fun episode here. We're watching a live Game 7 in the NHL Playoffs. Montreal is up 2-1 with 3 minutes left here in the second period. We'll be talking a little bit about the third period live, and then we'll have instant reactions from Gil, and also Ryan, that E-Flat guy, is scheduled to make an appearance as well. So his Canes have done a record-breaking 8 games in a row to win to start a playoffs. But the downside is now they've got a record-long layoff streak. So they started that second round before the rest of the first round games were done, and then they swept that. So, like, they had to wait 12 days, champ, to their next game. And it'll be the longest run of days without a game in.
Oh man, sorry. I know you're talking about the hockey gimmick, which is coming up in the second hour, but they just made it official at Clash in Italy on May 31st. It is tribal combat for the world heavyweight title.
So talk to me
versus Roman Reigns.
So for people that don't know, what does it mean for it to be tribal combat?
It's essentially a fancy Anawahi family term for a no disqualification match. Essentially. Mm-hmm. That's all it is. It's a no disqualification match. It just has a fancy name to it, which is tribal combat. And there have only been 2 tribal combat matches in the history of WWE, and Roman Reigns has been in both of them, and he's won both of them. So Jacob Fatu doesn't stand a chance in hell, but we'll see. But yeah, right. It's been made official, and I can't wait.
All right, last question about that, and we can talk more about it there. What were the other 2? Because now I'm curious. Who did he face in the other 2? One
of them was Jey Uso back during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. It was against Jey Uso. I got to look up the other one because I can't remember the other one, but I know the first one was Jey Uso, and he beat Jey Uso, and that's when it started. He started to he started to fall in line with the tribal chief. Mm-hmm. The other one, so the tribal combat, it's a no disqualification match that's deeply rooted in the Anawahi family Samoan heritage. Both of them, Roman Reigns faced Jey Uso. This was at SummerSlam 2023. This is when he left the bloodline and went out on his own. And then at the Netflix premiere last year,
right,
against Solo Sikoa, where he reclaimed his Ulafala.
Right. That's cool.
So those were the 2 tribal combat matches that have taken place in WWE. Jey Uso and Solo Sikoa, and now Jacob Fatu's next, and now LA Knights.
Yeah, it's talking some shit. All right, we got 46 seconds left here. So Montreal was up 2-0 at the end of the first, but Buffalo has scored a goal here in the second to make it a 1-goal game, and they're trying to get one more here at the very end. What a crazy stop. It is loose in front of the net inside the blue paint. Finally, he dives onto it, and but yeah, we're talking about a little bit about Game 7s in Stanley Cup history. Some kind of fun facts to talk about at the beginning of the show. I didn't realize there have been 130 different matchups for Game 7s in the history of the NHL. 130 different combinations. This is the 203rd Game 7 in the history of the NHL. So just some cool historical thoughts here as the Canadians just barely, man, all of the Canadians were just like starfishing in the blue paint, trying to not let that puck in. But Buffalo, the crowd's going crazy right now. They're taking an offensive face-off here with 31.7 seconds. We're going to hold it here just to the end of the period. It's just very exciting action. But yeah.
Hey, Robbie. Hey, Robbie, real quick though, real quick. I know you're getting in the hockey gimmick. I know you love that, but look at Twitch.
Oh, okay. 50. Wow. 53 months. Thank you. Wow. That's a crazy amount of months, champ. I
know, right?
That's awesome.
I think you're like the second longest person I've been subbed to on Twitch. The longest is actually Chase Owens of New Japan Pro Wrestling, mostly because I'm his mod and everything like that. So, but yeah, 53 months is a lot.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. That's cool. You got that founder badge. You've been with us from the beginning, so I appreciate it. And welcome on C4. Lurking. I saw you were lurking on Facebook, and now you're lurking here live. We'll have C4 joining us in just about 10 minutes to talk a little bit of baseball. And she went to the big bobblehead night that so many of our Caps friends were at, and so that's awesome. Buffalo.
They went to the right game because they dog walked Cincinnati. We'll talk about it though.
Yeah. Wasn't that against the Orioles? I thought it was the Orioles for the.
No, you're right. It was the Orioles, but they did win that game though. But they did dog walk Cincinnati as well. Mm-hmm. So that did happen.
Yeah. But it won't show here, but I renewed my Prime membership last night. Oh, wow. Thank you. Yeah, let me see. It's probably in my activity feed. So I appreciate that.
You have to share it. You have to share it.
Oh, yeah, Seth. You
have to share it.
And you can share it after the fact. You just have to click a button. But anyway, I appreciate the resub regardless if it shows up or not.
So Robbie, I had a really clever opening when we started talking about DC sports, and it's this. I'm going to get this shit off. It was a hot day today because I was driving doing Grubhub today. It was a hot day today. You know who's not hot? The DC Defenders.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it because.
Yeah, we gotta rip the Band-Aid off. We gotta rip the Band-Aid off.
It sucks. They had 5 weeks in a row where they won, but man, they lost a lot in these last 2 games here.
Not only did they lose the last 2 games against the Louisville Kings, in which they still haven't clinched a playoff spot, but they lost who I consider their franchise quarterback for the remainder of the season with a knee injury. Now, again, there's only 2 games left in the season, and then there's 2 games in the playoffs that you got to win the championship, right? So clearly, whatever this knee injury is, it's severe enough that he's going to miss up to 4 games or more. Jordan Tehamu, it was announced by Coach Shannon Harris that that knee injury he suffered in the first quarter of that game against the Kings, in which he was immediately ruled out. Yeah. Like when he went down, they immediately ruled him out. So what I'm thinking is torn ACL. It's got to be a torn ACL because even a hyperextended knee, yeah, you're going to rule them out, but not immediately. But they immediately ruled them out, which means it's got to be a torn ACL, which means you're not going to see that cat until next spring, if that.
I know.
but that's a devastating loss to suffer. Your franchise quarterback goes down, and I mean, they made it a game. They were pretty. It was pretty back and forth, but it was the fourth quarter that killed them when Louisville scored 13 points in the fourth quarter to win it 33-30. Tom, before he went down with that injury, only completed 2 of his 4 passes for 62 yards. He did have a touchdown, but he also did have had 2 interceptions in this game before he left with that injury and was immediately ruled out. Spencer Sanders was the backup, and he did okay, 7 of 15, 83 yards. He did throw an interception, but apparently he had one hell of a college career. I'm pulling it up right now, but he had one hell of a college career, and they brought him in last year.
Yeah, real quickly, Champ, I want to thank everyone for Hype Train. Yeah, we don't have Hype Trains all that often on the channel, but thank you for Sith for the resub with the Prime. And then C4 gave a gift as well to the chat to our friend Samo. So I appreciate that as well. It's... anyway, thank you guys for all the gifts and the resubs and stuff like that. And now the Sith Lord, I actually think, has taken over the Bit Boss.
Nice.
So congratulations for that.
All right. So Te'amu, before he went down with the injury, through the 8 games of the season, he had completed 109 of 177 passes, 1,515 yards, 14 touchdowns, while also adding almost 200 yards on the ground. Now, Sanders, who's expected to become the starter for the final 2 games and hopefully the playoffs, played at both Oklahoma State, so he was a Cowboy, as well as Ole Miss, so he went from a Cowboy to a Rebel. Across 41 collegiate starts, he had a 30-11 record, threw for 9,831 yards and 70 touchdowns. He also ran for 2,001 yards and 18 touchdowns. So what happened on Saturday is not, I don't expect that to be the regular thing going forward with the kid of this talent, with this kind of stat line coming out of college. I expect him to go out there and keep this team competitive and keep this team doing well. And if they keep running the ball like they did this Saturday, I think they're going to do just fine. They ran 34 times for 218 yards and 3 touchdowns. Xavier Valladay was the leading rusher for the team. 13 carries, 107 yards, and a touchdown for the defenders. So if they keep running the ball, they can take some of the pressure off of Sanders, who is playing basically going to be making his first professional start in his career. And then Chandler Rogers on the other side, 11 of 20, 142 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. So he wasn't really much of a factor at the quarterback position, but they still did enough to be able to win the game and take both games against the defenders. And now the defenders are now fighting for their playoff lives. Their next game, they have their final 2 games against the Orlando Storm. Their first one will be in Orlando this coming Saturday. And then next week, they finish off at home like they tend to always do against Orlando. They got to take one of these 2, if not both of them, to ensure that they have the number 1 seed in the playoffs. Otherwise, it could be tough. It's going to be tough for them to try to get all the way to playing in the United Bowl in their home stadium if they don't get it together. And it's going to be very tough for them now that Jordan Ta'amu is done for the season. They're going to have to rally around Sanders. They're going to have to get that running game really pushing. And they're going to have to, that defense is going to have to become absolutely stingy when it's all said and done. Otherwise, it could be a season lost and no chance to defend.
Yeah, thank you for another sub. There's a resub of 5 months by the fearless leader of the web creative community, low bass guy, and I appreciate the resub. There's also a Pokemon in chat. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna go try to catch this.
It's a lot. It is a lot going on. Like it is a lot. It's sensory overload, honestly.
Yeah. It's got a hype train. We talk about the Defenders. We got this crazy Game 7. But I appreciate all the hype. It's man. I'm excited for this third period here. And the Defenders, they got to win one. I mean, they kind of have to win two, right? They're a game back, so I feel like there's no way that they're going to get it if they don't take both.
I mean, they're still in the top 4, so they're going to make the playoffs regardless. But if they lose out, they could potentially fall out of the top 4 and miss the playoffs.
Yeah, they need one.
So that's why I said they need to win at least one of these last 2, if not both of these games against Orlando, to ensure they're going to at least have a chance to repeat.
Right, and so 1 gets them in the playoffs, 2 probably gets them the division title, actually. So, it would be interesting. So how does it work? I haven't even looked it up. Maybe, I don't know if you even know. In the playoffs, is it like preset where the preliminary round is going to be? Or is it like the home team? Because I thought that maybe that's just because we were on the road because they were the home team and that's why it was 2 games in a row in the Battlehawks last year. So I guess the home team must get the first round game if it's available. Because also DC United plays a lot of games there, right? So I think that was part of the problem. Also, was even if we were the higher seeded team last year, they previously announced that they couldn't host it because DC United had a game.
I mean, it really depends on when the playoff game is. But I do know this. DC United, which we're going to get into next, actually, their next matchup is on this coming Saturday against Montreal. They don't play again until late June, which means that if we do get the top seed at a home playoff game, it will be at home because DC United doesn't play for a month. Yeah. Period. So if we do get a high enough seed to get a home game, it'll be at Audi Field because DC United is going to be off for a month. So that's one less thing to think about. And think about it like this: if DC United gets the number 1 overall seed, which means they're going to get a home game for the semifinals, that means that if they win that semifinal game, it's going to be back-to-back home games. The last game of the season, the playoff game, and then the championship, all at Audi Field.
Yeah, I mean that would be pretty amazing. So, I love that we're getting some intel, though, on who we'd have to face, I think, in the championship right here at the end of the season with this new quarterback. Because, let's say we played them earlier in the season with Jordan, it wouldn't have told us a whole lot, So now this guy's, trial by fire. I think it'll be a different situation when he has the whole week to prepare with the first team out there, and it'll be interesting to see. With that, let's. I got a hype chest. Something. Let's share what I got at my hype chest.
Yeah, I got one too.
All right,
I was one of the first ones to start it, so I got.
There you go. Oh, cool. I like your fish, and I got. I don't know. It looks like a party jamboree, something confetti hype. Cool.
Yeah, confetti hype.
Nice.
I got. What is that? Endler love. So I got an Endler.
Nice. Sweet.
That's pretty dope. That's dope.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate that. I don't get very many hype trains, so I really do thank everybody for contributing and being a part of this team and believing in the sports podcast world. And so let's talk a little DC United, and then we're gonna get C4 on here in a second, and we'll have her talk Nationals versus Baltimore. How
about we do this? We'll talk DC United, then we'll talk Mystics because their season started.
Oh, yes.
Their season has started, so we can talk Mystics, and then we can go to the Nationals and have C4 jump in because I don't want her to jump in and then I got to jump to the Mystics.
Yeah. No,
let's do it that way.
Yeah, that's a good call. I like it. All right, so let's talk DC United, who had 2 games this week.
Yeah, so for DC United had 2 games this week. They ended up going 0-1-1. They didn't get a win, but they did walk away with a point, but they did take a loss. They took a loss to Chicago by a score 3-1. Both these games were at Audi Field. They took a loss to Chicago 3-1. Ty Barbaro got the scoring started in the 40th minute, so towards the tail end of the first half with the goal in the 40th minute. But then Chicago exploded in the second half. Laud scored in the 61st minute. Then Kuipers scored just 9 minutes later in the 70th minute, and then Haley Celesi scored at the tail end of the second half in the 86th minute to give Chicago a 3-1 victory in Audi Field. DC did outshoot Chicago by a tally of 10-7. With 6 shots on target for DC and 4 for Chicago, but of those 4 on target, 3 were in the net. So that kind of efficiency, you can't buy that kind of efficiency having 3 goals on 4 shots on target, 7 total. And they held on to the ball for 57% of the game to DC United's 43. So a loss there, no points. But a couple days later, back at Audi Field, they did have a 1-1 draw with St. Louis City SC. Chris Durkin got the scoring started right at the start of the second half in the 49th minute. But then João Peglo, with just almost at the end of regulation time, got the tying goal at the 89th minute. They were not able to do anything in extra time, and they ended up going to a 1-1 draw. DC once again outshooting their opponent 8-4 this time, with 4 on target to St. Louis's 3. But again, possession is 9/10 of the law. That we used to hear that all the time on wrestling commentary. And possession here was more on the side of the opponent than it was for DC United, 54-46. So DC walks away again with 1 point, but not 4 or not even 6. But they walk away with a point, so that's still something of a positive. They currently sit in 8th on the Eastern Conference table. If the playoffs were to start today, they would be playing in the play-in, but they are 1 point behind Charlotte for the 7th seed in the playoffs, in the standings. So they aren't very far off the mark here. If they could just get it together, they, like I said, they have their next matchup. Their next match is against Montreal on May the 23rd. It is a home game. So before they go on their month break, they will, because of I believe they're going to be on the month break because of the World Cup. So they have 3 home games before they go on their World Cup break. So hopefully they're able to walk away with another point, hopefully 3 points, and go into the World Cup break still in prime position to try to make a push towards the second half of the season for those playoffs. They have not made the MLS playoffs in several years. So I think this might be the year. They have some competent goal scorers and they play some solid defense. But they need to get it together and get the offensive side going if they're going to compete and make the playoffs this year. But a decent week for DC United this week.
Yeah. I was thinking about, I see if this works. I'm going to bring in here the live scores there, because the Mystics are actually playing right now. And so are the Nationals, who are now going into the bottom of the ninth, tied with the New York Mets. They began a 4-game series with them today, and it's going to run through. It's funny. You read my mind, because I was going to put this one up when we talk about the baseball. So they are tied at the bottom of the ninth. We're going to monitor that one as well. But for now, I'm going to throw this up there, add some extra information on screen. Let's talk about it. The Mystics, especially that game against the Fever, what a hell of a game that they put together there. The Mystics have started off very strong. They won 2 of their first 3 games to start the season. So this is partially my fault, because when we did Sports on Hill last week, we didn't talk about their first 2 games, because their first 2 games were on May 8th and May 10th. And I didn't mention it, so that's partially on me. But I'm going to bring it up here. They opened the season on May the 8th against a new team in the WNBA, the Toronto Tempo. And they won that one. All 3 of their games have been close games. This one was a 68-65 final. Sonia Citron and Kiki Irafin, who were draft picks for the Mystics last year and did phenomenally well as rookies, are starting off their sophomore seasons
in a big way. Citron had 26 points for the Mystics in the victory. Irafrin had a double-double, 12 points and 16 rebounds. Shakira Austin, who's a new member of the Mystics, she also had a double-double, 18 points and 11 rebounds for the Mystics in that victory. Then they would turn around and go to overtime with another WNBA original team, that being the New York Liberty. That score was 98-93 in overtime. Irafrin, once again, with a double-double, 20 points, 12 boards. Austin, another double-double as well, 16 points, 12 boards. And Citron had 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists for the Mystics in the loss to the Liberty. So they went to 1-1, and then they would win in a crazy overtime game in Indiana against the Fever, 104-102. Citron went absolutely crazy in this one. 30 points with 6 boards and 4 dimes for the second-year player. Irafrin, the other second-year player, 3 games in a row with a double-double, 25 points, 13 boards. Austin came 1 rebound short of also matching Kiki for 3 straight double-double games, 19 points, 9 boards. She also had 5 assists. And Kati McMahon, another newcomer to the Mystics, 13 points with 5 boards for her. All 4 of our 5 starters finished in double figures for this one. And of course, you know, we got to talk about where she at. Caitlin Clark had 32 points.
Right. Well, also, I just want to talk about, she had a game-tying shot that was like 2 seconds left in the game that sent it to overtime, right? And so I was like, oh, crap. You know, you hit a shot like that, and that just gives so much momentum. And sure, especially in, you know, on the road for the Mystics, you know, I just thought, man, that's for them to come back and win that game in overtime just shows you the amount of grit. They, you know, just barely outscored them 15-13 in that overtime period to score 104 points. Just a lot for.
Listen.
Yeah.
WNBA has this new collective bargaining agreement. Some of these women about to start being millionaires. They going out there showing why they deserve to be millionaires. They playing their hearts out, and I love every minute of it. I am so glad that they finally are going to pay these young women what they're really worth. Though right now, if you're watching on the streaming gimmicks, they're not looking too good against Dallas. And this is a home game, by the way. They're out in Arlington for this one, but Jesus Christ, they're getting boat raced.
And from the beginning, they only scored 9 points in the first quarter to 19. To start down 10 going into the second quarter is never great. They played a much better second. They've at least outscored them 20-19. But then in the third, they've allowed 28 points there, which is just a lot of points in the WNBA, and only was able to put up 17.
They need to get it together. They need to get it together because after this game, they have 6 days off. And then they head out to Seattle to take on the Seattle Storm. That's their next game. And then, of course, they're going to be playing 2 games against the Seattle Storm before they end up back home for a home game against the Los Angeles Sparks. So they got a tough stretch coming up for them with Seattle twice, and then back home with Los Angeles. They got to get together.
There's only 1 game. I mean, I guess we'll recap what happens in the rest of this game, but it's not looking good. You know, but we'll only have 1 game to recap next week. But no, we're skipping next week. That's actually a great segue. Memorial Day, we're taking off next week, so we will have all these games to talk about then.
That's why I brought it up, because I was like, we're off next week. So
we are. I had almost forgot. So Memorial Day is coming. I feel like it's coming early this year. It's coming quick. We'll take Memorial Day off, but we'll also extend the podcast by an extra week so we can recap. We are going to go to the UFL Championship game regardless of whether or not I hope the Defenders find a way and make it, but I think it'll be fun for our podcast to be able to cover the first UFL Championship in DC, it'll be fun no matter what. Take some video, maybe go live from it, and things like that. So we're in the supporter section too, so it'll be kind of fun to broadcast and show what it's like to be in the supporter section, which none of us had ever been. We've been to other parts of the stadium before, so and I'm excited to take my son, so that'll be fun.
I don't drink, but if we're in the section where the beer snake comes out, I'll help hold it.
There you go.
No, I'll help hold it.
I want to get a video of you,
but I'll help hold it. All right.
Nice. For sure. All right, with that, let's bring in C4. We're gonna switch in the graphic for the this baseball, the live Nats game, so we can kind of have that on the side here. But C4, you actually were able to go to a really good game against the Orioles and got a bobblehead.
Yeah, see, I was mistaken when I said they dog walked the Cincinnati Reds. It was the Orioles game where they dog walked them.
It was the Orioles game.
Yes. What was? Yeah, I forgot the score in that.
But 13-3.
Oh, nice! There it is. The bobblehead itself. So
he's got the flip flops on.
Nice. I love it. So Ovi was not at the game. He was actually back in Russia.
No.
I saw a very funny video of him celebrating watching his son play in a summer hockey league in Russia.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
And he had a great celly after he scored, and Ovi just turns back and looks at the camera, and you could tell that he totally thought about it.
He was so proud of his kid.
He was so proud. I think he was just as proud of the celly as he was the actual goal. And so no news on the Ovi front, but I'm happy that he's smiling and having a good time and having some good time off. C4, how was going to the game?
It was great. The crowd was really cool. It was actually pretty evenly split between O's and Nats fans.
Because both O's and Nats fans both love the Capitals, and it's and they're both in the area, so it was a smart
great.
idea.
The atmosphere was great.
That plus going from Baltimore to Southeast DC is about a 50-minute drive.
Yeah,
so it's not that far. So it's not that far to travel, and you can take the MARC train down to Union Station, and then take the Metro from Union Station to Navy Yard to go to the game. So
that's what we did. We just took Metro down.
Yeah,
and it's great.
I love that. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But what was really kind of sad though was at the end, there were people there was a guy got an extra bobblehead. As we were walking out of the stadium, I got $20. Anyone wants to sell me their bobblehead? And then there was this guy had a whole table of all these different bobbleheads: baseball, football, basketball, all these different bobbleheads. They wanted to trade this for whatever was on the table, and I'm like, no. Why? It's a bobblehead. It's not, $1 million. Is it going to be worth something someday? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. Card market's like the stock. But it's just kind of crazy how people get obsessed with these things. And
I'm looking at my wall of bobbleheads.
Here come Oba.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, something else that happened at one of these Nats games, some jabroni idiot decided they was going to bring a white supremacist racist banner to the game. They got rid of his ass and banned him.
Where was that?
I don't know which game it was. I saw the headline for it, and I was just like, who does that stupid shit? Oh, I forgot. These white separatists, they don't have brains, so they don't think very well.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, they banned them, so we're never going to see that. We're never going to see that piece of shit again. As the Nationals have gone to extra innings with the Mets. But they got rid of him. But one thing I want to say about the Nats before we get back to C4 and her experience at the Beltway series game, I don't know what it is with the Nats. They can't seem to sweep series.
I don't know.
They tend to win two of them, and then they either win the first two and then lose the last one, or they lose the first one and then win the next two. They have not won. Yeah. They have not swept a series with a team yet this season. And this week was no different. They took 2 or 3 from the Reds over in Cincinnati. They won 10-4 and 8-7, but then got dog walked on this last game of the series, 15-1. And then the Beltway series, they took 2 or 3, won 3-2 on Friday, dog walked them 13-3 on Saturday, and then lost 7-3 on yesterday. And I'm like,
crazy.
what is going on with this team? Like, they can't sweep a freaking series. They need to start sweeping series. Yes, it's definitely pitching. As someone who's a former pitcher in high school, yes, it's definitely pitching, and it irritates me to my soul.
And Yankees have the same problem.
No, it irritates me to my soul as someone who used to pitch and who loves pitching to see a team be so inconsistent when it comes to pitching. And when you look at Brock,
holy shit, Brock Lesnar!
What?
This motherfucker retired! What the fuck? Nah, fuck off! This motherfucker retired. He came back and he's beating up over. Man, get fucked! Yeah, Sith! No, Sith! Bring your ass in here, Sith! What the fuck? What the fuck?
Whoa!
Had a feeling.
What? Oh my goodness.
That or Triple H both. They're to blame for this.
Of course they are.
This is crazy.
Now that theory that Brock could get retired by fucking Walter might be something now because he's not really retired. He's here beating up Oba.
Right?
This is crazy. Wow.
That's St. Marcus is downstairs live streaming the hockey game.
Yes. Well, and that hockey game was crazy.
Here he comes.
Marcus!
Yeah, he can.
Hold on, let me take
Marcus, get your ass over here. Get over here. Marcus, what the fuck?
You built Oba to fucking squash him the next time Brock faced him. Great job, Triple H.
Hey, Marcus, this was nowhere near on our fantasy book and on that podcast we did, which, by the way, is up right now on YouTube on the All Sports Network.
Because it's terrible, dude. What are you doing here? You don't build Oba up to fucking squash to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
See?
Garbage, dude. Oba, do us a favor. Leave WWE. Go to fucking AEW. They'll treat you better.
Probably, yeah.
Nah, probably not. He'll end up in catering, and he'll hate
probably.
it. And then he'll end up back
by
in
the
WWE.
end of the summer, Oba will be nothing. He'll be fucking helping Titus Worldwide with his catering business. Garbage, dude. Fucking garbage.
Are they setting him up for Clash in Italy?
Yeah.
God, I hope not. God, I hope not.
It'll be in Italy.
That's bullshit.
That's crazy.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. So what were we talking about again?
We were talking about the weekend.
We were talking Nationals.
Yeah. It's a good segue into wrestling, but let's finish up our Nats talk real quick. The game is still tied 5-5, as you can see on the live score here.
By the way, the Nationals, their next series, after the Mets series, they continue to be in the NL East. They're going to be heading to Atlanta this weekend for a 3-game weekend series. And then next week, they will start a 3-game series. They're going to continue on the road. They're going to be heading to Cleveland and face the Guardians on the 25th to the 27th. So hopefully they're able to get their shit together and win this series, or at least sweep this series, and then they'll have momentum going into ATL, shawty.
Yeah. What the hell kind of name is the Guardians, by the way?
Well, they had to get rid of the Indian thing because reasons.
Yeah.
Huge fucking goal. Ties the game. Wow. The place is going crazy. Just chill. 13:33 left in the third. We've got a tie.
Good things happen when 3-3-3 is in the mix. That's what happened with Colorado. They scored at 3-3-3.
I know.
And then they scored 2 more.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I gotta go let my dog in.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, wow. Sorry. Right off the face-off, a pass around the edge, and just from a crazy angle coming down low. I'm trying to see who it is. Oh, nice goal. He just sort of sneaks it by him right on the blocker side. But yeah, just wow. This game is tied 2-2 with 13:25 left. So we'll be talking about that in the second hour here. But yeah, wow, crazy open stuff. We got a goal here. This is an exciting episode. We got right at a hype train.
Liv is whining right now. Hey, Liv, to use your favorite saying, cry about it.
Yeah. So, but it is a weird thing for him to announce a retirement and then I mean, does that ever happen? I feel like injuries faked, sure, but I mean, do you think that he thought he was done and he changed his mind, or do you think this was always the plan? Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
Money. You know, I said it.
Oh, hold on.
Back when we were recapping Mania, and I will say it again. He was probably going to come back for Saudi Arabia Mania next year because Saudi money lures everybody. Italy, I'm sure, is throwing major money to have Clash at Italy. So it wouldn't surprise me if this happens, either Saturday night's main event or Clash in Italy. I do not like this, though. You made it look like the guy was retired, and now coming out of mothballs is fucking quick. It is ridiculous.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Real quick, are we? I guess I can keep the live Nats scoreboard on the side while we talk about it. But I mean, Champ, was there any other things you want to talk about before we get into the wrestling about the Nats week?
Yeah, I mean, again, they have the offensive weaponry. I mean, that you're seeing the scores here. Like they're scoring more than 3 runs per game so far this week, and yet the pitching has let them down, and that's what's been so frustrating about this first half of the season, as they're a couple months away from the All-Star break. And it just seems.
Pete's confronting what's his face.
Get it up.
Yep.
I agree with Champ, though. The problem is
Lesnar's retired. What just happened
out there? The
problem
isn't the offensive part. It's pitching. And the pitching and the bullpen have been the Achilles heel for the Nats for quite some time now. And they just haven't rectified it yet. It's frustrating as hell.
Yeah.
No way. No.
No way.
You've got to be kidding me.
You can suck my fucking dick. He's giving him a contract with Brock's name already on it for Clash of Italy.
That's bullshit.
Like Paul Heyman said at his Hall of Fame speech, you can suck my fucking dick.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my god, bro.
And I called it.
Marcus
I said
is not gonna like this.
Minutes ago.
Yeah.
What's his face? Pete.
Oh boy.
Heyman. No, come on. Hey.
You know what I hope Oba does? What Brock did to Cena last year. And just maul him.
Contract.
And then get on the mic and say, get the fuck out of this company. Go homo, man.
Yeah. You
can't say the F word because, oh God, it's a PG product. Nah, this dude needs to go home. Go back to the farm, go back to the family. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, there we go.
I like that matchup for the Sol Ruka for the Saturday night main event. I assume that's for that title, right? For the
non-title. It's non-title.
Oh,
non-title.
Non-title. I like it less.
Yeah.
Why is it non-title?
Because Sol's going to win and then earn her shot at the Intercontinental title, most likely either at Clash in Italy or at the next PLE in June.
That makes sense.
How long is the time between the Saturday night main event and Clash in Italy?
8 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something I mentioned on Sports on the Hill, which is now available on all audio platforms,
on the nose
is WWE booked themselves into a very precarious situation where you have Saturday night's main event, and they did this with the Royal Rumble, where you had Saturday night's main event, and then the following weekend you had a PLE. And what they've done here is the same thing. You came out of a pay-per-view with Backlash, then you had to quickly run towards Italy, as well as Saturday night's main event. This week you've got your go-home shows, Saturday night's main event, and then Monday night and Friday night of next week, you'll have your fallouts from Saturday night's main event, but also combined your go homes for Clash in Italy.
What?
So you're out here literally running your creative end, and then tonight you phone in Brock Lesnar. Oh, here's a contract for Italy. Get over to sign it.
That's bullshit.
Oh my God!
What's this? What's the tension with the Street Profits again? What is going on?
Who knows?
Stop this bullshit trying to get them into a feud. Jesus.
So real quickly on the hockey side, there was a goal that was just waved off. It was a poke check through the pads, and then it was scored. But they said that the goalie had it, and it was an illegal poke check, and they immediately washed it out. But Buffalo thought they had the lead in this game with about 10 minutes left, and they do not. So it's still tied 2-2 in that one. So
guys, Seth is finally realizing turn after turn after turn after turn after turn, he has no friends left.
Nope.
None.
Yeah.
I take Trick's head down. No. Seth does, yeah.
Yeah, Seth's it's main event time, baby.
Yep. Whoa.
Jazz, what are you doing over there?
At least they got rid of the flamboyant outfits.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
That's not flamboyant compared to what he usually does.
Yeah, no, I kind of like it. I'm actually it's kind of mild. Excuse me a minute. My cat's over there doing.
Compared to the drip that he had before Mania, this is very, very tame.
All right, cat.
We are at the end of the 10th inning in this live Nats versus Mets game.
Why don't you go 21 innings like my game did on the show the other night?
Oh, God. It better not go 21 innings. Jesus Christ. Ain't nobody trying to stay up for that shit.
Exactly.
No one got time for that nonsense.
So, wait, so Austin Theory is against Rollins? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
And Seth has got a major problem because he, over the last 12 years, has burned just about every bridge you can think of.
And then some.
You know, going back to when he broke up the Shield and just going forward from there over and over and over again. He has burned so many bridges, it's insane. So he's telling everybody, look, I know. I've been a piece of shit.
So what is this the main event of tonight? It's not, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's interesting.
They did a good thing in allowing the bloodline drama to open the show, then have Seth Rollins, who right now is my MVP for the night, have Seth and Austin main event. And this is a far cry from what Vince would have done with Austin Theory. I can tell you that much.
That's probably true.
Yep. So we're at the top of the 11th here. Let's see if the Nats can find a way here.
Oh, Marcus is absolutely crashing out.
Outstanding, good man. Outstanding.
I'm sure he is. Yeah, he's down doing the on the All Sports Podcast Network. He's down there live streaming that game. I don't know, man.
I gotta ask this question of all of y'all. Who watched Ronda Rousey take out Gina Carano in under 30 seconds? Not me.
I saw it, but not live.
Ronda Rousey, quite honestly.
So I wanted to watch it, but then I tuned in at 11 and it was still at the undercard, and I was like, nah. And so I kind of happy because I like paused it and then went to sleep, and then I woke up just and then fast forwarded to it, and I was like, that's what that's what it was. So, but some people calling it fake. I don't think it was fake. I mean, she's won most of her decisions by an armbar. So like this
and
is
not only that,
yeah.
Shayna Baszler, who's her good friend, her best friend, and worked with her in WWE, went out on Twitter and even said and even clarified that for anybody who thought this was just a work, like she named some of the opponents that Rousey has beaten in under 20 seconds, under 30 seconds. This was not a work. That's just what Rousey does in the MMA. She beats people in a short amount of time.
Yeah,
and she didn't even name the people she beat in under a minute. But she said there's plenty of people that she beat in under a minute. So this wasn't no work. It was just Ronda Rousey was back in her element, and she had to remind people who the fuck she was. But I didn't watch it, one, because I was doing my podcast, and two, after I got done with my podcast, I went to bed.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it because, one, I wasn't really interested in it to begin with. Gina Carano's been at the MMA thing for 17 years. So I'm like, this is going to be Ronda going in, smashing, going home. And for the people who say that it's rigged, again, I present to you a key stat. Gina Carano stepped away from MMA for 17 years to do Hollywood. Okay? When you step away from something like MMA for 17 years and you come back for a match, odds are you're going to lose, especially against Ronda Rousey. He's one of the best ever to lace up the gloves and get in the octagon. You're going to lose and lose quick against Ronda. Yeah. So for those online, and I don't care who you are, who say that this was a rigged fight, one, I think y'all watch pro wrestling too much, and y'all are used to that being, predetermined. So y'all came in this mindset, oh, well, this had to be, no, it was not predetermined.
The fans are weird. Fuck them.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
I agree.
They never
Mets,
happy.
the Mets just took a lead, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck the Mets.
Yeah, so there's two outs. It's a 1-1.
You get like a black cat.
Well,
CJ
Abrams had the bases loaded and struck out swinging on two balls, man. One was in the dirt and the other was outside. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right, Sith, why don't we give a little shout out for the basement, and then we'll get you out of here.
This past Sunday, which last night, I released the top 50 highest grossing films of the 80s, worst to best. Not a single bad one. There's some bad ones where it comes to the 90s, but that's this coming Sunday, 5 p.m., Spotify, and around, say, 6 p.m. East on Apple Podcasts. As we are watching the main event, and Seth Rollins is going to town on poor Austin Theory. But as I said, looking better under Paul Levesque than it is under Vince, because Vince is like, here, take selfies, you'll get over, kid.
Paul, shut the fuck up. Go away.
Who, me? I'm innocent.
Yeah, okay.
See, for you know, my heart is pure, mostly.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite jokes.
That's one of the most full of shit lines I've ever heard Sif say. And I've known Sif for like 6 years. That's the most full of shit line I've ever heard Sif say in his life.
I've known him, 6 months, and that's probably about it.
That happens to be one of my favorite poker lines. Is these guys were doing the World Series of Poker, and this was like back in 2004. And this guy talks a lot of shit, goes, you know, my heart is pure. And I'm thinking, tell me your heart ain't pure. You're full of shit, dude.
So full of it, your eyes are brown.
But anyway,
yep.
Enjoy the next 2 weeks, folks, because we're not going to be here next week. But Champ will promote his pod. We'll promote the pods. So I'll be hanging out in the chat with Champ and Sage tomorrow night, and of course Champ and I Friday night. He'll talk to y'all all about that. So no spots in the basement are still rocking though, as we are off for Memorial Day.
All right, sounds
so everyone
good.
Be safe.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Sir.
I'll see you in a couple of weeks, and have a great Memorial Day. And thank you for coming on.
Yep.
And note to Mother Nature, joke's over. No more record heat for a while, please.
Well, it sucks because it's record heat this week. My pool is not open. The pool opens on the weekend, and it's back to being cold and rainy for the weekend. I'm like, what the hell? It's the worst possible combo. And of course, on Wednesday, I'm going to the zoo. In April, I went to the zoo, 92 degrees. I'm going on Wednesday, 92 degrees. I was like,
It's going to be 96 here, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in my car with the AC running, which is burning gas, and gas is so freaking expensive.
Yeah. $97 to fill my truck the other day.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, I'm glad I don't have a truck. It only cost me $53 to fill up my car, and it was still at a quarter full. So that should tell you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know. I've been driving my Mustang. Believe it or not, my Mustang, even though it's an 8-cylinder, actually gets better gas mileage than my truck. But it takes the high test.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had a record at the airport of 95 at RIC. It got up to 96, and I'm like, oh God. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Ryan, Gil, everyone, take care. And I will see y'all later.
All right, thank you. All right, Chip, I'll let you give your final thoughts next, and then C4 can stay on for as we talk about this Game 7 hockey.
Yes,
I'm not watching it. I'm watching Raw, but
yeah.
But so again, we're going to have a pretty busy week streaming wise. We have the second episode of season 7 of the Best of Super Juniors Rewind. Best of Super Juniors got kicked off this past Thursday. We already had 3 nights of action. So me and Sage are going to be talking about that and looking ahead to what's coming up this week. We are also going to have the weekly pod this coming Friday in advance of Saturday night's main event. We will preview Saturday night's main event and talk about this week, including that shocking return of Brock Lesnar and how we really feel about that. So that's coming up this week. Best of Super Juniors Rewind is Tuesday night beginning at 7, and the weekly pod will be on Friday beginning at 7, all on Twitch, Kick, and Facebook, twitch.tv/TrueNoSpotsPod, kick.com/TrueNoSpotsPod, and Facebook.com/NoSpotsPod. And if you can't make it for the stream, the audio will be up the very next day. Goki Genyo, sayonara, and bye-bye.
Adios.
Yes. Well, thank you, Champ. I appreciate it as always, and definitely go check out the No Spots Pod and all of the different shows that they do over there on Twitch and on all the different channels. And I appreciate all of the time spent on this podcast over the years and the crazy length of your subscription that we started off the stream. And thank you again for kicking off that hype train. And I guess I'll keep this Nats scoreboard up for a little bit longer. But
well, I'm tagging in Gil and E-Flat Guy. I'm tagging them in. They're tagged in.
All right, sounds good. I appreciate it.
Hot tag.
Hot tag. All right.
Thanks for the tag.
So we're bringing in Ryan, that E-Flat guy, who the Hurricanes have done something that no team has ever done in the NHL. Win 8 games in a row to start in the world of best of 7 series, and just really great stuff there. So what are your thoughts going into the next round here?
Thanks for having me, and it's an exciting time to be a Hurricanes fan. I'm going to say something that will shock all of you. In the next round, I think the Hurricanes will lose a game. I think. So yeah, obviously, it's been an amazing run, but there's never been a team that's won 16 straight for a reason. So I imagine between these 2 teams, I still like the Hurricanes as a favorite, but especially if we get several overtimes, please. Let's have 4 overtimes. That would be amazing, right? Game 7, 4 overtimes. Who's in? Let's do it.
Yeah, This game is crazy right now. We got 33 shots for Buffalo, 20 shots for Montreal. It's tied 2-2. I've got 3 minutes left on my clock. I don't know how much time you have on yours, Ryan, but yeah, just wild
301.
Yeah, 3. Okay, yeah. We're all in the same relative TV.
And the Nets have tied it.
Yes, I just saw that the Nats have tied the game in the bottom of the 11th. So this is the game that never ends.
Insanity tonight.
Well, and the Yankees are in danger of losing. They're up 7-6 to Toronto.
Wow. Yeah, crazy stuff. But yeah, I mean, now there is going to be a 12-day time without playing games for the and it's never happened before. I mean, I know that we talked about it a couple of weeks ago about rest and is it better to have the rest? And I know you've had some injuries. That's a real long time to not simulate it. And these guys are going to come off of this game 7. I think that first game is going to be really tough for the Hurricanes, even if it's in Carolina. I think it's going to be a struggle to get back to that pace that you guys were at.
I don't think the pace is going to be an issue. A lot of times I think what you just see is more mistakes when you're trying to play at that pace and you haven't been able to in a while. So, the Hurricanes kind of had not as long of a layoff, but before starting their series against Ottawa, they were resting players in the previous games, and it seemed to be a little bit of a longer wait to get to that first round matchup with Ottawa, but they came out in game 1 and just hit everything that moved. I think they had it was at least 30 hits in that game, maybe more, probably more. And so I think my prediction is you're going to see a really high hit count from the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't think they're going to look slow. I think they might look sloppy, though. That's what I'm worried about. I think they're actually going to be. They might even look a little bit. They might look pretty fast out there, actually, but then that's where the mistakes can happen because you're trying to do too much, and then you're missing an assignment or something. So yeah, because it is an interesting thing with the rest versus rust argument. But I think, honestly, no matter what happens in game 1, people are going to do the hindsight thing of the Hurricanes were rested, so that's why they came out and smashed, whoever wins this game, or, the Hurricanes were rested and they were rusty, so that's why they lost. You know what I mean? People are just going to argue whatever they want to for that. And it's kind of hard to say unless you're in it. I will say the person that might benefit the most from the time off is Frederik Andersen, actually. You would think a goalie being out of rhythm would be a problem, but he in the past playoff runs, he's usually started out strong and then kind of worn down as the series have gotten tougher and longer playing. And so him having that time away is probably benefiting him more than any single player.
Yeah, I agree. Gil, I'll get some of your thoughts here. What are your thoughts on having that 12 days off? Do you think it will help or hurt them?
I think it will help them ultimately, and as I say that, the last seconds have ticked off in the third period, so we are going to overtime.
Yes!
51st, Game 7 overtime. Home teams are 27-23 in these. So this is exciting. I was hoping we'd get a game. I'd hoping it was going to go to 7. Then they have 7:30 start time. And I was like, maybe they expected to go 5 overtimes. So they wanted to get it to start early. We got it.
We can only hope.
Yes, exactly right.
This is actually this is me right here, right now watching these overtimes. I have a special treat. Mm-hmm. This is the Jarvis Concrete from Good Berries.
Nice.
So Good Berries is a frozen custard shop, and so he's got a special flavor, which is really funny. I don't know how well you can see, but There's no logo on his uniform because it's just a Seth Jarvis sponsored thing. It's not a Carolina Hurricanes sponsored thing. So they don't have the rights to show any NHL stuff on there. But the flavor is actually pretty interesting. It's it's a vanilla custard, but it's got red velvet cake in it with waffle cone crumbles and also Oreo cookie crumbles. So it's like, it's got the red and the black for the Hurricanes, and it makes for a pretty good treat.
Yeah,
while you're watching these two teams hopefully just beat each other into oblivion.
Right. So it'll be the long intermission for people that don't know. It's the full 17 minutes that we get until because they have to resurface the ice because they don't know how long it's going to go.
Right.
So, Ryan, of these two teams right now, who would you prefer? Do you think?
I think as far as like competitively, I think Buffalo's a slightly better matchup for the Hurricanes. Mainly because I think the best way to beat the Hurricanes is actually doing a similar defensive system that they do, which is more of a man-to-man. And Montreal's shown a propensity to do that at times, and I think they'll try to do it. The way that the Hurricanes' best line right now, Hall and Stankoven and Blake have been playing, they're really good at creating space and finding ways to basically just draw defenders away from the dangerous player who's going to end up scoring. And if they're playing man, and they're disciplined in that, then there's not going to be as much space for them to actually create because they're actually going to not look at the puck or try to stay in front of it necessarily. They're going to be on each person. So I think Montreal from that perspective would probably be a tougher matchup in a way. But I mean, both teams have a ton of talent. I don't think it's like a huge difference between Buffalo and Montreal, really. I mean, at this stage, I don't feel like there's a huge difference between teams in general, but I've never felt it's very weird for me to like have some sense of confidence as a fan in my own team. I've just spent so much time in angst and anxiety.
We've been there.
Yeah.
Scouts fans.
But this team is really this season. Like this team is very different from last year's playoff team. So it's kind of like for me, like the main thing I've been just rooting for is just for these two teams to just tire each other out as much as possible, because then I think it just helps the Hurricanes that much more. More than whoever comes out on top.
When is game 1? Do we know when that?
It's going to be Thursday.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep. So,
wouldn't it be funny if this game goes like days? Just like we're on like the 21st overtime, and there's just like
Oh God.
I'll settle for it going into Tuesday morning. I'll settle for that. Yeah, I think I can't get too greedy there, but if it goes into Tuesday morning, I'll be extremely happy.
For sure. That would be good. I'm so curious. I love that we have this top of the 12th game now. Unfortunately, the Mets did just score there. Now it's 7-6, but or if you want to talk about us first, we would be 6-7, I guess. But
and in the meantime, it's total chaos.
No.
On WWE right now.
Don't do that. Please don't do that.
Yeah, we've got a line cross for Gil.
6-7. I got it.
I didn't know I'd never get to the day where Gil would say no.
Listen, I work with kids too much, so like
I know I have.
You either adapt or you die. Like you just kind of have to like. It's honestly better if you lean into it, because then they don't think it's as cool anymore.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I did as a teacher with the last name of Gross. Is I just made so much fun of it the first day that they didn't think it was fun to do. So that's kind of what you have to do, especially with teenagers. So, or a 7-year-old, either
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Kids'
yeah, so we
minds
got
go.
10 minutes here until the first overtime, as I'll call it. But C4, any thoughts here on this, the matchups or this game or anything at all?
I would I kind of want to see Buffalo advance, just because, just the way the Montreal series went with us last year. They were such, I just couldn't with them last year. Um,
That's fair.
I just couldn't. I couldn't. I just couldn't. Um, but also because I tend to like to root for the underdog, and it's been like for never since Buffalo has been this far in the playoffs.
It's hard to know who's the underdog in this series, though. I'll be honest. That's that thing
Yeah,
is.
but
It's an interesting
Montreal's
match.
been in the playoffs more
Yeah.
recently than Buffalo.
That's true.
So I mean, they have
I
a
just
little more
Buffalo's the higher seeded team, so it's hard for me to consider them the
Well-
underdog, right? No, but I understand what you're
Well,
saying.
that's
Yeah.
true. That is true. Buffalo is the higher seeded team.
Yeah.
But and I think people aren't giving them enough credit. Will they go all the way? Doubtful. But it's nice to see them playing well and doing what they're doing and stuff. And then I was sort of following the Colorado series against Minnesota, and it was kind of funny because we had it on, and Buffalo scored at 3:33 left in the game, and it's like good things always happen at 3:33. So, and then they came back and won it in overtime. As soon as I knew, or was it overtime? I guess they go into overtime.
Yeah.
I was like, it's going to overtime. I'm going to bed. Don't wake me up.
Yeah. I know. I mean, the second he scored at 3:33, you look at the goalie's face, and you could see it all over him. He was like, he knew they were coming back. I was like, this guy has no confidence in himself. Like they're fucked. Like I mean,
And
like
they scored
at
at 13:30.
like,
They scored again. Well, it's 13:33 today, but I mean,
right.
At
No, I'm saying
3:33,
in that
man.
other game at 3:33 in that
Right.
Colorado game, the second that happened,
Yeah,
I was
Colorado,
like, man,
and then-
the Wild are screwed.
right. And then Buffalo scores at 13:33. So here we go.
Yeah, I
things
agree.
happen at 3:33.
Liz likes the number 3 as well, so that's one of your lucky numbers.
It's my mother's
13,
lucky
33.
number, favorite number as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she likes 13 and 3, so 1333. It's got all of that in there. So
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
and 13 is not 13 is actually a very lucky number for women. It's
Yeah.
there's a lot of female power in the number 13.
Interesting.
I could go on a that's a
Yeah.
whole other topic of discussion for
Well, Liz was born on the 13th, so
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's been a really fun playoff series. For the whole, all the rounds have been great, and it'll be interesting to see the Vegas Golden Knights series on the west side. Ryan, have you looked at that any of those games at all?
I saw one of the most ridiculous highlights I ever seen. Mitch Marner in front of the goal, going between the legs. That in a playoff game is just.
And to open a playoff game, it was like in the first 3 minutes of the
Oh
game.
my
I want
gosh.
to say. So
Yeah. Dude, I looked at that, and then I also saw Kale McCarr get hurt in the towards the end of the last of Colorado's last series, and then I'm thinking, like, Vegas has a shot. Vegas has a chance here. Not to say again, I mean, Colorado's a deep team, and even I know I don't know exactly what the extent of the injury is, but I just know that he's going to try to be out there and playing and contributing, which he's a smart enough player that, I mean, not smart enough. He's an extremely smart player that can adapt if he is playing hurt and contribute, but it's just not the same, right, as a full strength. I mean, he often uses his speed and skill to get around people, and if he's dealing with an injury, that's going to be harder to do.
I just want to see Torts lose and pitch another.
Yeah, I do not want to see Vegas win. Make no mistake about that. I have many reasons to root against Vegas.
Stupid can you be? You're pissed off because somebody gets fined justifiably because what he did was stupid, and you get pissed off And because of that, you just shut everything down for the media. It's like it's not the media's fault. It's the guy screwed up, man.
But I just don't understand. Like, I've never heard of a coach not making it available, like, after a win of a series. Like, it's not like if they lost the series or something happened in that game. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see if it was like something horrid had happened.
I heard some detail about there's some hardship with like traveling that they wanted to get out of it. He wanted to get out of there quickly. Yeah. It had something anyway, but all that was like it was something to do with like I don't know. I'd have to read it again. It was something to do with
partially to do with that, but also partially they didn't like one of the calls that happened.
No, I mean it's not an either or. I think it's a both and. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's both of those things kind of working together. And
I hope that they take that second round pick, though. I hope that they're serious about it and they don't just like through arbitration give them their pick back, because I feel like that's a big
thing.
Yeah, that's huge.
I am always cynical when it comes to the NHL's enforcement of its rules. You know,
or lack thereof.
Interestingly enough, I've seen, at least in the Hurricane series, a lot more penalties being called than I've seen in past playoffs. It's kind of funny that
seem to be going up across the board.
In the Colorado game, though.
Yeah.
There's still there's still missing stuff. I mean, I've kind of been in the. I think I can't remember who suggested this, but somebody suggested they need just kind of an eye in the sky official who can pick up things that are happening away from the play and make calls like that.
Yeah.
Because it's just so hard. Like, when you're on the ice to see everything that's going on, I mean, these guys are moving so fast, and you just miss stuff. And that's why we're seeing an epidemic of embellishment to the point where Sidney Crosby gets memed to death.
But since then, so there hadn't been many embellishments before that, and that was part of their argument. But since that embellishment call, I've seen 2 or 3 other ones, which I was like, this has got to be a record number of embellishments in one playoff.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is people have, it's gotten out of hand with players just because, well, they know that the officials are going to miss it. Like, because things are happening so fast, and so they're trying to get their attention, like, as soon as something happens. And it's just,
and then they often get the call, but then they get the embellishment, so let it like counters the whole point of it.
I still haven't seen nearly enough embellishment calls to reflect how much embellishment I've seen in my opinion.
I've seen 3 since that other one, and I don't think I've ever seen 4 in an entire playoff.
They're definitely trying to cut down,
but
I've
seen 4 in an entire season.
It's a problem that's been going on for a long time, and it's strange that they're only just addressing it now. But I mean, better late than never. I guess.
It's strange that they didn't really address it in the regular season.
Yeah, they really didn't.
Yeah, so that seems like an interesting time to start to do it. It's now 10-6 if you're watching our live scoreboard, and they've got runners on second and third. So I may just end this screen share.
Yeah. Imagine if playoff hockey in the NHL, they were like, you have to play the whole overtime period, and whoever's winning at the end of the overtime period advances, and then it would just people go back and forth with goals, and they tie it again, and then you have to
do that in soccer. Sometimes they
have. There's extra time, and then there's also a golden goal, right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. All right. I think they're getting ready to start.
Yep.
Let's go.
All right.
The first of many overtime periods.
Right. So I do want to give a quick scoring update. The OKC San Antonio Spurs game 1 of the Western Conference Final is going on, and OKC just hit a 3 to bring them within 7. So we're at 8:45 left here in the fourth quarter, and so I'll just be giving a couple little scoring updates. I don't plan to actually have an NBA team on tonight. I figured we can focus mostly on this hockey. But I do want to give some updates as we move through. There was a Game 7 that happened last night that I will also bring up in a few minutes. And for our friend Scott Firestone Rocks Drums, I'll say go Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. They also swept another team to have swept their way into a conference final, and so hope that and they're playing another team that is coming off of a Game 7, so it's a similar sort of situation there on the basketball side. And I was surprised that Cleveland went in to Detroit and played so well, and they actually I heard the owner bussed 25 buses in of fans to the opposing stadiums. Clearly made a difference. Definitely didn't hurt. So it's interesting for sure.
Gentlemen, I need to call it a night. It was a pleasure.
Okay. Yes, C4. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for joining us.
Good night, and I'll talk to you next time. Enjoy the week off.
Cheryl.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. Have a good one. All right, so so it's 2-2. The shots 34 for Buffalo, 22 for Montreal in this with 18:26 on my clock. So I don't know. It's probably similar to what you guys have, but Ryan, what are your takeaway? Do you think this is going to end early, late? Do you think this is going to go multiple?
Fingers crossed. No, I mean. After the craziness of the last game, I was interested to see how the goalies would respond. Mm-hmm. I mean, Dobish got chased out. Obviously, Lyon had a pretty disastrous start there, right. And so obviously Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has taken over, but yeah, just.
What a great
it seems like both goalies are pretty settled in. I am shocked a little bit that the officials have been kind of swallowing their whistles this game with how much we've seen of, more penalties in these playoffs.
This is typical for Game 7s, though, right?
Yeah,
I feel like that.
I mean, this is typical. I'm just saying, like, we have, this postseason has been way more penalties than we're used to. So
and I hope that a penalty doesn't decide this in overtime, because I feel like a power play is like.
But especially like last game, and this is maybe the thing that has given me more confidence than anything else. It seemed like both teams were a bit undisciplined and kind of all over the place. Which kind of plays into the Hurricanes' hands, because they love taking advantage of that, and because they've been on the other side too many times, and that's what people will look at in terms of their past history and be like, oh, they've always fizzled out, and they've been on that other side of just kind of getting away from their game and chasing things a little bit. Instead of, sticking to what they know and just, hoping and expecting that opportunity to come instead of trying to force it to happen, Yeah. So, I think that's the interesting thing tonight is I think the goalies are pretty settled in. So, I mean, it could be a really save for save goalie battle, and that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm rooting for.
Right. It's definitely going to be the team that makes the mistake is, both of them. I mean, right now, Montreal's just standing behind the goal, just waiting. Yeah, everything's a game of inches. They are trying to time this out, and they do not want to make a mistake, because one mistake in your season is over at this point. So, Gil, what are some of your thoughts on the first 4 minutes of this overtime?
For my liking, Montreal sitting back a little too much. But as I say that, now they're playing their possession game and holding it. But seems like whenever they get the possession, they can't quite create the chances. Hence the disparity in the shots. But I will say that If it's going to end early, it's going to end on a Montreal goal because they have the slight edge in speed. So that said, the longer it goes, I think the more it favors Buffalo because I think the crowd's going to give them the energy long term. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm kind of a junkie when it comes to the history of overtimes, and if you go through all of every overtime that's been played in the NHL since the beginning, they either end within the first 5 to 7 minutes of the first period, or they go very long. They go late into the first and beyond. So there's not a whole lot of middle ground usually. So I think I don't know which side of the bell curve this one's going to play out. So it's going to be really a really interesting watch.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. There's been a lot of action so far. The goalie look behind him there from Montreal. So you can tell that he was a little nervous there. We got 14:51 here, but yeah, it's well played both ways. Lots of speed, a lot of opportunities. An icing, and it was a good save. He's sort of bouncing off the bottom, and he gets his pads together, and it just deflects up and out. And yeah, it's exciting for sure. It's still 89-80 with 7:24 left here in the fourth quarter in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals in the NBA. So, we've got a face-off here in the Montreal zone, which Montreal defensive zone, and they actually are able to win it and clear it out there. So, but for Buffalo's credit, they stand him up in the neutral zone and get to the attacking zone. But unfortunately, his stick breaks, and that makes it a little bit difficult to do a whole lot with that. But then we got Montreal with a scoring opportunity right off the bat coming down here, and a second one. That one, I don't know if they got a piece of it, but it looked like it may have just gone wide. And Montreal's trying to. They do a good job of holding the line there, keeping it in, trying to cycle through, and getting some fresh legs on the ice. But Buffalo is able to steal it and get it down the ice. It's a 2-on-1. Oh my God! Buffalo pulls it back. Montreal's goalie is down, but he gets back up, and it gets deflected off the ice. It's.
There's a really wild sequence there. Thompson had Dobesh down.
Yeah.
He cradles the puck very well. He had Dobesh crouching. All he had to do was lift it into the short side, and that would have been the winner, but he just couldn't get there. And then Dobesh fell and lost his stick, and just all kinds of chaos.
Yeah, good job by the Montreal defensive player to stay with him, though, to sort of keep his stick checked and not allow for him to get that shot off. I think that was, it was a good defensive play as well. So that's
so DZ face off for Montreal. Buffalo barely wins it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a mess.
Somebody, everybody saw what Mitch Marner did. Why not just do that?
God, how do us Toronto fans feel watching him get to the...
They have to be feeling sick right now.
Yeah. He was not the problem. Yeah. So.
Gosh.
Yeah.
If Vegas finds a way to beat Colorado, he's definitely going to be in the Conn Smythe conversation. I don't think, maybe you might know this, Gil. I as far as I can remember in history, I haven't ever seen a Conn Smythe trophy go to somebody that didn't make the final. I remember, of course, famously McDavid winning the Conn Smythe as on the losing team in the finals. I saw, was it Jaguar when they lost to the Devils that won and he was on the losing team?
Yep.
But I don't think there's ever been somebody that didn't make the finals that big.
There hasn't. It's always been based off of the remaining players in the final series. Somebody would have to have a crazy astronomical stat somewhere.
Yeah.
To be considered and not reach the final. So that,
well, it's funny that we say that
because
Kuznetsov almost had that, but I mean, we obviously won it. But like his stats through the first 3 rounds were pretty insane, if you remember. And then I felt like it wasn't as crazy in the 4th, which probably is why they gave it to Ovechkin. He may have been up there. You'd have to have a lot of points, is what I'm saying, like that, to be able to justify it. But yeah, this is a crazy fire wagon brand of hockey going back and forth here. It's if you want them to exert a lot of energy, Ryan, this is
yes,
keep
it going.
Exactly.
I'm just like that. There's a meme of like, I don't know, it's from some old comic strip or something. There's a guy that's wearing a shirt that says Sickos, and he's like, yes! He's like peering up against the glass. Like, just so excited.
So, mercifully, thanks to Scorebot, and I don't have to watch it on the screen anymore, the Nats have gotten out of their half of the inning, but now they're down 16-6.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Lord. Oh my
gosh.
Extra innings and down
Yikes.
10.
Yes, down.
How many times does that happen?
I don't know, and you're in the 12th inning. Like, it was tied going into that by definition.
That's crazy.
So yeah. Anyway, there's also a Pokemon.
That's got to be up there in terms of like amount of runs put up in one half of an inning.
Yeah,
10 runs in an MLB game in 1 inning. That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, that's why I turned it off on our. Like, we didn't need to see that on our screen anymore. Yeah. Anyway, all right, Gil. What are some of your thoughts now here as we get close to the 11-minute mark?
Well, Montreal's putting up a good fight. They're just not getting the results. They're not getting the shot. They're getting the scoring chance. So if you've ever heard that phrase, scoring chance versus shot, a scoring chance doesn't have to necessarily result in a shot. They're coming within range of scoring, but they're just not getting the shot off, which is why their shot count is so low. So it could give off the appearance that they're not doing everything that they can, when in fact they are. They got puck in deep on the other end now in Buffalo, but they turn it over again. So that this is how it's been this whole time, 9.5 minutes in, back and forth, and I kind of hope it stays this way. I like this is my favorite part of playoff hockey, the back and forth exchange with one goal being the deciding factor.
Yeah, I'm happy they didn't just call a trip there. I mean, it wasn't one, but like in some worlds they call that.
Yeah.
They're not going to call a penalty unless it is...
Yeah, no, it has to be egregious. I mean...
extremely obvious.
Yeah. Oh, Montreal's, like, lurking behind the goal. Ooh, a shot. Oh, man. That was a great opportunity. Another what we were calling scoring chance, So, like, just... man. Montreal's now put up 25 shots. Yeah.
I would say this past 2-3 minutes, Montreal has definitely been more the aggressor.
Mm-hmm.
They've tilted the ice the other way, and it's Buffalo that's not getting the shot or a chance off at this point. So they need to regroup really badly. I don't know if they're waiting for a second win, but they can't wait for anything. Great shot there by Hellenius.
Yeah, wow. Nice rising shot. I thought it was going to end it, to be honest. All right, Montreal tips it. Is it down low? I think he tipped it. I guess he didn't get his stick on it. So I don't know.
So they're gonna, it's past the halfway mark. So they're gonna do a scraping of the ice as per standard practice. So we're got a break in the action here. I'm sure both sides could use it.
You know what I wish that they would do? I kind of wish that they would not only do the scraping of the ice, but they would switch sides at the halfway mark. So that way, like, there's no advantage, and then there also goes into like you have to have a longer change, and I don't know. I think that would be an interesting versus waiting to the end of the period to do it. To switch it.
Yeah. So in this period, this being the fourth period number 4, technically.
Yeah.
You start off with the long change.
No, I was trying to say it'd be cool to switch back, and then
right.
like yeah. So anyway, it's just. I think it would be interesting to see if that would have an effect on scoring. But we got a lot of players there on Buffalo that are creeping up on playing time.
TOI figures are already ridiculous.
Yeah. So
now, I guess actually I have a curiosity about this. In terms of we were talking about scoring chances, very well explained, but. I've always thought, I guess, scoring chances are pretty closely tied to shot attempts, right? So that could even include stuff that gets blocked on the way through, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So is there really much of a difference between scoring chances and shot attempts, or are they really like interchangeable just about?
It depends. A scoring chance can still be a chance to score.
Okay.
Not to be circular,
so like
but
if
it could
somebody
still be a chance to score without even a shot attempt.
Okay, so if somebody was on a breakaway and they I don't know, they fell or they got tripped up or something, right. That might still be a scoring chance, but not a shot attempt.
Right, and not every shot attempt would necessarily be a scoring chance too, because let's say it's so far away from the thing, and someone just blocks it up by the blue line. I don't know if that would be considered a scoring chance. It would just be a shot attempt,
Yeah.
So it can go the other way as well. So, but I mean, they are. It's like that Venn diagram, right? So there's a lot of times that they are the same. But
that's why advanced statistics have their place. They're not the end all be all that some make them out to be, but they definitely have their place because they tell a little bit more of the story.
Yeah.
Hey,
so there's so many advanced statistics in hockey too that got even further into it, which is crazy. We have some friends that actually go on Gil's show from time to time that do some real advanced stats, and it's pretty.
I mean, hey, it got Eric Tulsky a GM job eventually. That's how he started out, was just nerding out, covering stats for Philly, Flyers blog.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because teams try to get whatever advantage they had a couple of years back. The Caps bought one of my favorite reporting data on salaries for
Cap Friendly.
Yeah, Cap Friendly, which was my favorite and go-to, and I might have used it multiple times a week. And then they were basically sold to the highest bidder, which was the Capitals, and they got all that data, and it went private. And I was like, damn it, that was my go-to reason. And there hasn't been another one that's really been as good,
No.
So
it's over. It is over. Montreal has done it.
Wow.
Newhook is the hero.
Oh, shit. Poor Buffalo.
All right.
11:22 is the time of that goal.
All right, there you go.
Wow.
Alex Newhook again. I think that's his fourth or fifth goal this series.
Wow.
Guess I better brush up on my French. So be a lot of.
You parlez-vous français?
Yeah, I really don't. I know very little French.
Un petit peu en français.
Yeah, you'd be better equipped than me, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you study French in school?
I didn't, but I've gone to France a couple of times, so I've learned enough to be
that'll
conversational, so.
In a bout pour Montréal.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, the Buffalo goalie is throwing his shit down their crease.
Luka Luukkonen is not happy.
The local, some of the local sports talk people were saying that Montreal winning would be good for their bottom line because they'll probably find their blogs and stuff online. They'll probably be looking at it.
Wow. OKC just scored. And they made it a 1-point game, 90-91 with 3:13 left in the fourth quarter. So that basketball game has gotten a lot tighter as well. So Great goal though to win it. That's what you want though. It's not like a cheapie or
not his skate wasn't in the crease.
Clean goal, not a deflection. So as a wrister,
it actually was a slight deflection, but not off of. It's off of the. If you watch it really closely on this replay, I think it is a deflection.
But it's off his teammate.
Yeah, I think it's off of
it knuckled, so it grazed. I wouldn't call it a traditional deflection.
Yeah.
More like it grazed something, but not so much so that it changed direction. I think Luukkonen just it was a 7-hole goal.
Right.
That if you want to call it anything. So
wow,
Luukkonen had his glove out, but not quite. Yeah. Not quite. So Alex Newhook, who 7th of the playoffs, I've made fun of him a lot because he used to play for Colorado and they didn't think much of him, so they got rid of him, and he turns out to be something of a hero for this team this playoff. So who'd have thought?
Wow, that's so exciting. So, congratulations to Montreal. I love that shot of the Bell Center. They were going nuts. So there. I have a lot of friends that are Montreal fans. So I'm happy for them and for Canada in general. They just haven't had just to have an opportunity to be in a conference final just gives the.
It's funny that I guess. Well, of course, Edmonton. Edmonton is the last one, but
right.
But then, of course, Montreal had that crazy run during the truncated season with the Canada division.
They can't.
So they won the Western Conference trophy that year.
That's so weird to me because you had Tampa Bay versus Montreal in a championship, which
can never happen again.
Yeah, exactly. So, I kind of like that. I kind of wish there was more opportunities for things like that to happen, where it would be non-conventional. I mean, we were talking about this earlier in the playoffs that, based on record alone, the Capitals should have gotten in over some of those Western teams. Send them over the West. Why does that one division get 3 teams, in when they're all crap teams? So. I think that there should. Soccer sometimes does that, where it's just the best 16 make it, where it's not, not necessarily you get an advantage just for being in a shitty division, right? So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. So we'll see Montreal versus Hurricanes on Thursday,
which is actually what I picked before the playoffs started.
Oh wow.
I picked Montreal versus Carolina. Almost didn't get there. I almost got really embarrassed because I picked Buffalo to lose in the first round.
Oh wow!
Just because I wasn't sure how the players were going to respond. To being in the playoffs. It is a little bit of a different game, right? And so I just thought they didn't have enough experience to keep their cool, but they did enough to fend off Boston, and then of course. Had a great series in the second round.
That would have been an exciting series, Boston and Montreal. For just the original 6 side of it.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, it would have been.
But yeah, we're gonna see. Hello, Lodenine Rain is in the chat. Excited to see Montreal over Buffalo. I'm excited to get started. Like I told Robbie before, I wasn't really hoping much either way, but just kind of happy to know what it's gonna be, and feeling good, feeling confident, knowing anything can happen. But one interesting fact about this year is that the Hurricanes as a team, their longest losing streak was 3 games. And it happened maybe 2 times in the season. They had 2 3-game losing streaks. But people looking at past history in their finals appearances are kind of looking a little too much at history and not enough at what's actually happening right now. I don't see a quote unquote collapse this year. It's kind of in a way like the previous season's collapses. I think will actually help them because they know what it's like to be on the other side, and so they know how to handle it better. But yeah, I mean, it's playoff hockey. Anything can happen. But yeah, I'm excited to have it. We'll have to report back and see how much, if I hear a lot more French in the area with all these Canadians crossing the border and hoping to get into a playoff game. We'll see.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see for sure. I kind of feel for the Buffalo fans somewhat because I remember being in a series against Montreal where we got shellacked, and we were the President's Trophy, and it's tough to be the favorite and lose in a game 7 at home, and they had a lot of opportunities in this series in general. And it's definitely one that their fans it's going to sting for a long time for them.
Maybe. I mean, but also, I mean, there's a lot that this group can do and can learn from. I don't know, actually, off-season wise, though, what their roster makeup is going to be like. If they have any expiring contracts.
I'm not sure, but they're saying Montreal beat you guys 3 times this season? You guys didn't beat them?
Yeah, so early on in the season, the Hurricanes had 2, usually at least 2, if not 3 defensemen that were injured. And there's a lot of, but there was a lot of extenuating circumstances going into those games, but yeah, they definitely were in terms of matchups a tougher matchup.
Psychologically, so I feel like that could have an impact. To know that you can beat a team. I wonder if
sure, yeah.
Maybe, but I'm of the belief that whatever happened in the regular season, you might as well throw that out the window.
Yeah. In terms of those, I mean, there's some things that carry over. I mean, it's always surprising to me, for the Hurricanes' second line to be the leading scoring line of the playoffs through those first 8 games. That was surprising, but I also wasn't surprised that they were the best and most consistent line for the Hurricanes because they had been that way for the past 2 months of the regular season. So there are some things you could draw from the regular season, but yeah, I'm kind of with Gil in terms of there's a whole lot of different circumstances here in the playoffs, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We'll get to have the I'm ready to stop talking about the rest versus rust conversation. I'm almost ready for game 2 because then we could just move on from that.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Still feel
I didn't realize Buffalo has the second worst Game 7 record. Now 1-7 in Game 7s, and only next to the Senators, who are 0-8 in Game 7s. Oof. And also,
I think I heard that before.
Didn't realize the same guy won both Game 7s for Montreal. They won. He beat Boston in the Game 7 in the first one, and then now this
Tampa.
one. So
Tampa, yeah.
Tampa. I'm sorry, yeah. But yeah,
it is funny.
Yeah, wild stuff. Yeah, it's
we got a new Mr. Game 7, maybe.
I know. I was thinking that, especially since the old one played for both of our teams. So, except he was a Mr. Game 7 for you guys, and he failed at it on our Game 7 that he had an opportunity. So
that was maybe my favorite. Not with you guys. My favorite opposing fan interaction, because I went to the second game of that series in DC, and a Capitals fan was saying, the Hurricanes, they're going to get swept. I hope you enjoy it while you can. And I said, well, I think the series is going to 7 games, and we have Mr. Game 7 on our side this time.
Right.
So that was like my favorite moment. I'm like, he probably doesn't remember that conversation at all, but I remember it.
Yes. So, yeah, well, we'll see how this all goes. It will be an interesting, it'll be an interesting series for sure.
Colorado and Vegas, like I said, that's actually shaping up to be a pretty exciting series, I think. I really, people are gonna think I'm crazy for wanting Colorado to win, but I just kind of feel, number one, there's just a fun aspect of some of these guys that not too long ago I cheered for on the Hurricanes, and then also, like, if the Hurricanes are fortunate enough to advance to the finals, then and Colorado does the same, it's like you need to beat the best in order to be the best, right? So, like, don't shy away from the competition at this point. Like, it's just lame. Like, that's the mindset of kind of, and that's kind of, again, it's kind of weird to be at that spot now with, like, these two teams with, well, now I know it's Montreal, but between Montreal and Buffalo, it's just kind of like they've just got to get it done. It's not really going to change the way that they approach things, whether it's Montreal or whether it's Buffalo. They're still going to be the same team, I feel like.
All right, we got 30 seconds left in this NBA basketball game, so I'm going to take over for just a second. It's tied 99 all. The OKC just hit 2 free throws to tie it at 99. We got 20 seconds left. We got Wemby posting up, and we'll see if he can. His length is so incredible. He's just unstoppable. He just dribbled through 3 guys and scored. They take the lead 101-99 with 11.5 seconds. This game is in OKC. These were the number 1 and number 2 teams in the NBA all season long. And so it's an exciting matchup here. So we'll see. It's they obviously called a timeout because the last minute in the NBA takes forever to play. But it's a 2-point game now with a great play by Wemby, just sort of spinning around in the paint and puts it up. And just this guy, I mean, Ryan, he hasn't reached his max potential yet, which is just scary to me because, like, he's put up over 10 blocks in a game. He's done, I mean, he's gigantic. And, I thought with his frame that he would just get injured and wouldn't be like, he wouldn't be able to make it in the NBA. But, man, is he proving me wrong. And he can drain threes. He's got, it's just, I don't know how I can only imagine if he keeps getting better over the next 2 to 3 years, like, the sky's the limit for somebody like him.
It's almost, I mean, I kind of get the sense that, this is a good example of, like, previous generations kind of paving the way, where I think now at the NBA level, at least, they've had enough super tall guys that they're starting to get better at figuring out what's the best way to help them train and stay healthy. That might be a different approach. I'd be really interested to hear if, what all goes into, like, his training regimen and exercising and staying healthy and working out and stuff. As I think that, trainers and nutritionists and everything else might be approaching it a lot more specialized for each player now, instead of just more of this universal training program. And I would think something like that would make a difference for somebody like him, as just truly, one-on-one. I mean, I just don't know who you could compare him to at this point. Not to say that he's, like, the greatest of all time. Obviously that's way too early for that kind of conversation, but just in terms of, like, just totally different from anything that's come before.
So we got a question from chat on when was the last time a number 1 seed met on both the number 1 from the East and the West in the Stanley Cup final. I looked up the answer, so I know the answer. But Gil, I'm going to ask it to you. Do you know the answer to this question?
Oh,
I have a guess. I really don't think I know, so maybe I can throw out a guess.
Yeah, go for it.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, go for it.
Would it maybe be Pittsburgh and Detroit one of those years in 08 or 09?
No, it was not in 08 or 09.
Know which years you were. Well, I kind of thought it was that too, but I guess not.
So, I mean, this is according to ChatGPT. So, I mean, take that for we're gonna preface. So they're usually pretty good at these kind of things. So I'm gonna maybe err on that. They might get it right. So, Gil, do you want to throw out a guess before I read what ChatGPT thinks is the right answer, and then we can.
I'm gonna, if I had a gun to my head, throw out a guess. The 84 when Edmonton won their first Stanley Cup. I think they were the best, and then it was the Islanders that were still a pretty good team. Was it that?
The most recent one was 2001.
Okay.
Colorado and New Jersey.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. How funny that Colorado would be the one if they were the one to advance. That would be doing it again.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, that was the year that Ray Bourque finally won the cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I recall right.
Yeah. And we got another overtime. It's like the night of overtimes. And so, a game. So they tied it up, and Wemby had a shot attempt, but it was blocked at the buzzer. And so they will go to overtime.
Okay, huge props to whoever blocked Wembanyama from shooting. My God.
For real.
They earned their paycheck. Just sign that guy to an extension. If he could block Wembanyama, I don't know how that happens.
They threw 3 guys at him. One guy down low trying to sort of slow him down, and then he went up beyond that guy, and then another guy to come in and swat it away. So, you had to throw multiple guys. And the guy who did get it, I think, is the center. So, so it's like you had to have all your ducks in a row to get that block there. So,
it paid off, though. Going overtime.
It did. It goes, we've now had overtime in 3 different sports on this podcast. We'll call it the one with the overtimes, to take a Friends reference, right? So
you could also call it sports.
Exactly. By the way, the Nationals did get 1 run back, so they didn't lose by 10. They only lost by 9 in their 16-7.
Let's just ignore that one. I mean, if it wasn't, if you took away that one extra inning, I mean, it was really close.
It was a really good game. So anyway,
oh man.
So it's none of the other games are going to be that much of a blowout in overtime unless something really crazy happens in this basketball game. But maybe Wemby goes for 20 in 5 minutes, and the other team doesn't score. That would probably be the equivalent. All right. Well, Ryan, as we're starting to wind things down, any final thoughts? Are you still doing the Tuesday live morning shows? Are you gonna...
Gosh, yes. I've basically been called in to do. So one of the things I do is I help out with a local church, and it's a pretty big church. But the music director is in Italy for a week or so, and so I've kind of been picking up the slack over the past week or so. So it's a lot more of everything, a lot more music, a lot more communication, a lot more everything than I'm used to, and I just kind of got completely swamped last week. So,
right.
So that's the plan, is to finally get back at it tomorrow, and the last weekend of May, which is actually not Memorial Day weekend, we get an extra weekend in May, is going to be a special little kind of birthday stream anniversary event that I never had the stream anniversary event in January like I usually do because I was sick. So there's a bit to look forward to there. It should be a lot of fun. Got some new surprises, which will be fun.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. New surprises are always good. Yeah, it's always a fun time over at Ryan's stream, so you can always find it at twitch.tv/thateflatguy. So, and if you want to know the story behind the name, you can come by stream and
There you go.
or the command, or
Keep the
he'll tell
mystery.
you himself. And oh, that was an interesting play. Oh, and deflected out of bounds. Sorry, just some back and forth, but no scores here in the first minute. We got 4:09 left in overtime. Still tied 101 each. But yeah, definitely go check out Ryan. He's a great musician, a good friend. He's been on this show for many years now, and I think 3 or 4 years now we've had you talk about hockey. So it's been fun. It's been fun. So. Yeah, it's been great. I enjoy modding over there, and I'll definitely be listening. I have actually have a work thing. Somebody called today needing my tech support help. So after I'm done with that, I hope to be able to jump on. You're starting off at 10 tomorrow. What time are you?
Yeah, 10 to 10:30, somewhere in there, and then probably or not probably. I'll go. Usually wrapping, somewhere in between 1 to 1:30. So
I'll probably hit the tail end of that stream after I'm done with my thing. But yeah, it's always a lot of fun. And Ryan, thank you for coming on. I enjoyed watching some hockey with you where there's no stress involved on our side. So that's always a better way to do it. And I'm wishing you luck in the next round. And hopefully we'll have you back on. We're extending our run. We don't have a show next Monday. We have off for Memorial Day. And I'm extending the run through to June 15th, I think is the Monday that is there. Yeah, June 15th. So we're going one extra week than I normally do. I don't know if that'll get us all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals, but it might. But either way, we'll break it down up to then, and hope to have you back on if you're not obviously having a live game that you are stressing about. But either way, it's been fun having you on this season as always.
Yeah, thanks. And Gil, it's fun talking to you as well. I always enjoy and C4 as well. We got a good crew here. It's fun to listen to, and it's always a pleasure. So thanks for welcoming a rival fan into your midst.
Yes.
It's kind of too bad we're in the same division, but
familiarity breeds contempt, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see who wins this game, Montreal, or the series, Montreal or Carolina. It'll be a fun one for sure. So I'm looking forward for it to start on Thursday. But Ryan, I always appreciate your insight.
I forgot a fun fact too.
Oh, yes,
Ludenine had one about the winning streak that would set a record if the Hurricanes were to win Game 1.
Mm-hmm.
But really fun fact is the Canadians and Hurricanes have met a few times in the playoffs, and the previous 2 times, of course, Rod Brind'Amour was a player, and they were the very first round matchup in 2006, and the Hurricanes lost the first 2 games at home to the underdog Canadians and had to go into the Bell Center, and Martin Gerber had played an amazing regular season, but kind of fell apart in those 2 games, and so they turned to a rookie goaltender named Cam Ward to help see if he could help them out, and so that's where his journey really started.
I was going to say, and all he did was take them all the way to the promised land.
Yeah. Gerber did play some in that series against Buffalo, which was also 2006, so 20 years later. Kind of funny that both of those paths were tied to 20 years ago. But yeah, so yeah, I know the Canadiens have not forgotten about either of those series. I believe in one of them, Sekou Koivu got injured, and some of the crazies up there kind of thought the Hurricanes were trying to get him on purpose, but it was like a bad eye injury that he had. Yeah, it was like a high stick or something. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I remember that '06 series very well. I was in college, and I remember Adrian was very pissed as an Edmonton fan. Yeah, so like that was a tough one for him for sure. But it was a really Cam Ward, man, what a goaltender, and what a run that he had there.
Yeah,
in that playoff
Anderson
run.
is kind of is coming up on some of his records too. I'd have to look at the numbers again, but it's kind of shocking that in terms of like playoff wins and stuff that he's getting up there now.
Wow.
Because he wasn't a part of like all the Hurricanes. He hasn't been on the team. Like he's been on the team for the past 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's only got 3 seasons, which is pretty comparable to Cam had 2 years, 2006 and 2009 in the playoffs. So anyway, it's just kind of shocking that
But Frederik Andersen, he played on Toronto too, right?
Yes. Oh,
right,
yes.
Yeah. So.
Yep. Man. He was another one that got run out of town. Imagine if the finals are Vegas and Carolina. You get Mitch Marner versus Frederik Andersen, the two like biggest scapegoats for Toronto Maple Leafs fans getting to the Stanley Cup Finals before their team does. That would be funny. I mean, I also feel bad. Like, I don't want to rag on Toronto too much. We both know some good Toronto fans, don't we, Robbie?
Yes, we do.
So,
we won't rag on them too hard. In fact, I'm heading to Toronto this summer to visit. We actually have a YouTuber who just commented, "Are you ready, boys? Montreal is coming to town." All caps. He's very excited. So,
Oui.
Yeah, so... OKC just had some crazy shots to take a 106-105 lead here with 108 left in the game, and man, players are selling out. Caruso's diving into the stands, saving the ball, throwing it off of Wemby, and just crazy chaos here in the final minute. But it's super fun to have you on, Ryan, and we'll definitely have to talk as the playoffs continue on here.
Yep. All right. Good night, everybody.
All right.
Night, Ryan.
So, Gil, I'll let you have your final say before we wrap things up.
Well, I'm really kind of jealous that the Caps aren't involved, but because of that, we've wound things down early, of course, for over at the Triple P Power Play Point podcast. But as I've been saying for a while, we're waiting on some, hopefully, some big off-season moves. So I'm going to try and keep things running in the background, and there might be a special episode should that happen. And of course, we're waiting for the big announcement. I guess some would call it Decision 2.0. If you want to be. You want to go there.
The DC decision.
Yeah. There you go. Even better. But this has been a pretty good playoffs. Another game sevens, especially when they go to OT, are always great. So if you're not watching your playoff hockey, I do continue to recommend it, even with our hometown team not involved. I think it's going to be a great series on both sides, and I think the final's going to be great too. So I definitely recommend watching those, and let's keep an eye on the Caps and see what they do. Hopefully they make some changes, because I think they're sorely needed.
Yeah, man, this Thunder OKC game is crazy. Another big bucket, and I think we're tied with under a minute left in this overtime. So I don't know if it'll go 12 innings, the equivalents, but it's some pretty crazy basketball here. Wemby just can hit from he has unlimited range. Like, that was like almost to the logo, and this guy is 7 feet tall. Like, what are you doing about? Like, there's nothing. Anyway, ties it at 108.
He's a unicorn.
Right, it's just remarkable. And I keep on telling people he's only been in the league a couple of years. Like, he's had 32 points, 11 for 22 shooting, and 20 rebounds, 9 of them offensive, and 2 blocks, which is a very few number of blocks for him. So some people would love to have A block in a game. So Shai is also having an incredible game on the other side for the Thunder too. So we'll hold it here just for the last 26 seconds just to see if it goes to another overtime and we can get somebody to win. But Gail, it's been a lot of fun. You're welcome to stay here to hear the ending as well. Thunder here inbound it. There's about a 2-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. We're now down to 17 seconds on the shot clock, and now 16 seconds left in the game here. Shot clock's down to 10. They're just dribbling it out. They're going to try to hold as long as they can. Dribbles into the paint, spins it out, throws it back out for the three. It is no good. The Spurs get the ball, and they call a timeout in the air. They get it off. Wow. It looks like there's 0.4 seconds left.
I finally found the game. There's 0.4 of the second left in the overtime period.
Yeah, this is we'll see here. They're gonna take a look to see whether he had enough control over the ball to be able to call that timeout. So there's a box out. There's a tip here. He tips it to him. He has it. He puts a foot down. He's trying to... I don't know. Oh, his foot is on the line. But did he call it before that? I just don't know. Let's see here. They're going to roll it back. Here's there. And he's saying timeout. So he says timeout, but he doesn't get the signal to call it.
So I don't... discussing it.
Do you have to signal it, or can you just say the word timeout? That's the thing, because I feel like he said the words before he touched the line, but he didn't get the hand there to do it. So I don't... Oof, this is going to be an interesting decision.
They've adjusted the clock. They've added 3 more tenths.
Right, which makes sense, because I think that there was extra time that ran off, but... It'd be interesting to see who gets the ball here.
And if you happen to be watching basketball for the first time, it's not like hockey. It's not like you have to have the ball all the way into the hoop before 0-0-0.
It has to leave the fingers. So, if it's touching any part of a body, no. It has to be in the air before the zeros. So, there's 7 tenths of a second, which is long enough, and they did retain the ball, call the timeout, and so they can throw it, and they're going to... Oh, it is
inbounded
blocked.
It, and it just unsuccessful.
I don't know if it's unsuccessful or it's blocked or whatever. But either way, they're going to go to a second overtime. So this is going to be my opportunity to end the show and let people go watch the second overtime if they care. But wow, we got 1 overtime in hockey, 2 overtime in basketball, and since it was the 12th, so it's 10th, 11th, that's the 3rd, right, overtime in baseball, so because it's the 12th inning, so I guess the 3rd round, right?
You say extra innings.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's pretty wild. We've got a little bit of it all in tonight's show. So, thank you everyone for being a part of this. And Ryan, thank you again, who's in chat. Hard not get invested, even if your favorite team is out. I agree. I think it's a great time of year. And the same reason why I watch these NBA playoffs. You got the best of the best, even if you're not an NBA fan. This is a great game right here. And I think that people could find value in it. But thank you so much, Gil, for breaking it down with us. You have off next week, and we'll have you back on to recap sort of how the conference finals are going. I assume that they'll be still in progress. We may even have a live one to break down, assuming if they go every other like they usually do. So we'll have the schedule. So double overtime for the NBA. It's pretty crazy stuff here. Gil, any final thoughts before we end it here?
No, that's it. I think it's been a wild night, been a fun night, and thanks for having me as always.
Yeah, I think we're going to rate our friend Scat Cat, and let me just double check to see if there's anybody else that I know I had rated him recently. So just in case there's anybody else that we think that I hadn't, but that's kind of my gut feeling right now. Is to raid over to him. Scat Cat is a good friend. Oh, you know what we should do? We should raid Gibson Lens. Because Ryan was on, and I know that he would appreciate that. And he's another mod over there. So grab a raid call, and we will head over there. So no Wednesday show this week, the edit stream. We did have a great one last week. If you want to see more of the nighttime diving stuff, I'm going to kind of not show what I'm going to do, but I did edit a lot of it. We're going to do one sort of 8-minute piece. And then we're also going to do a second nighttime dive that's sort of the ambience and sort of more like a horror film kind of thing using the lights and stuff. And then we're also going to do an octopus unedited square raw footage video. So there'll be 3 different movies coming out of this night dive, each kind of hitting a different target audience. So we'll... So those will be coming at the end of the month and into June. We've got some... I have a short that'll be coming out next week. That'll be coming out tomorrow as well. And so definitely go check it out. Grab a raid call. We're going to head over to Gibson Lens. We'll be back not next week, but the week after. So a little break for streaming from us. But thank you for everybody. Hope that you guys all have a great Memorial Day and enjoy all the playoffs. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Hopefully Defenders get a big win in one of these next 2 games because we need it to make the playoffs. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye.